What's up, people? Welcome back. Well, I'm sure by now some of you, if not all of you, have heard about the somewhat unusual and controversial move by Apple to remove the headphone jack in the iPhone 7. In fact, Apple calls this a courageous move, and apparently someone thinks that the removal of the headphone jack, STINKS. You know, when I first heard of this, my first thought was this is so non-user friendly. But then I thought, who really uses the headphone jack or how often? I mean, you look at these headlines, and I can certainly understand this, but I don't have an iPhone. I have an HTC phone. I have an iPad and two Android tablets. And I thought to myself, when was the last time? When was the last time I used a headphone jack? In my tablets, never. In my phone, I used it last month. So I'm not sure if this is a courageous move by Apple. I think it's more of an evolutionary step move in the changing landscape of smartphones, or maybe in the changing landscape of competition for the smartphone market. So I don't think it's courageous. That's a bit overblown in my opinion. But hey, if you don't like it, you can stop buying iPhones, buy something else, and maybe that will send a message to Apple, assuming that there is a message to send that people want their headphone jack. Right now, I'm not so sure, but I guess time will tell. It is controversial to be sure, but I'm not sure if enough people will miss the removal of the iPhone 7's headphone jack. Well, speaking of controversies, you may want to take a look on my last video that I uploaded, thoughts on YouTube guidelines and the somewhat controversial demonetization of very popular channels. You know, these guidelines have been in place for quite some time, so it's really no controversy at all in my opinion. I think it's just YouTube enforcing more of their own policy based on the YouTube guidelines. But you may want to take a look at this, and I give you my thoughts on the so-called controversial channels. Well, that's all I have for this one. I'll have a link to that video below in the show notes. If you have any questions or comments, if I missed anything, please let me know. If you have any Mac questions, let me know. I will have a link below with the last Mac Talk 2 I did with singer-songwriter Stephanie Forian, who uses only an Apple, a MacBook Pro. Speaking of Apple, so take a look at that podcast below. We answered a few questions, and if you have any other Mac questions, please feel free to ask him. We are hoping to do a Mac Talk 3 sometime soon in the future. Well, that's all I have for this one, and let me know if the removal of the headphone jack will force you to not buy an iPhone. Very interesting.